Eliza Waters had always been different. Even when she was alive, she carried an air of mystery that made her stand out. Her luminous green eyes, framed by long dark lashes, and her flowing deep black hair seemed almost otherworldly. But it wasn't just her looks. Eliza's quiet demeanor and peculiar knowledge about the school's shadowy history set her apart. It was the late 90s when she disappeared, leaving only whispers and rumors behind. No one ever truly figured out what happened to her, not that many tried. She was just another ghost story to scare new students. Now, decades later, the old school building still stood, rotting at the edges and cloaked in ivy. It was a place avoided by most, a place with too many stories about missing students and inexplicable sounds echoing through its halls. But it held a darker, deeper secret. Eliza Waters was still there, waiting. Whispers claimed that if you brought a note, a picture of yourself, and an offering to the old building, Eliza would come to you. She would grant your deepest desires. Fame, beauty, revenge, whatever your heart craved. But there was a warning. The ritual required secrecy. If someone else found your note and picture, they could rewrite it, change the offering, and twist your wish into a nightmare. Kate and her friends stood in the hallway outside the classroom, waiting for Eliza to emerge. Eliza sat inside, unmoving, her gaze fixed on nothing in particular. Kate crossed her arms, her irritation growing with each passing second. What is she even doing in there? Kate muttered, tapping her foot impatiently. Her nerves were fraying, her frustration simmering beneath the surface. Let's wait a little longer, one of her friends said, her voice low but insistent. Don't you want to get rid of her for good? Kate hesitated, then nodded sharply. You're right. I should be the only smart, beautiful girl in the school, and you two are my plus two. That's how it's supposed to be. She glanced back into the classroom, expecting to see Eliza alone. But her breath hitched when she noticed another girl sitting across from Eliza. Kate hadn't seen her enter and had no idea how long she'd been there. The girl leaned forward, passing something across the desk, a note, a picture, and what looked like a small charm bracelet. Eliza's fingers closed over the items with an air of finality. Are you sure about this? Eliza asked softly, her voice calm yet tinged with something darker. The girl nodded, her expression resolute. Yes, do it. I don't care anymore. She hesitated, her voice dropping to a whisper. I just want Kate to cease to exist, to leave me and my brother alone. She's been using him, and he's not even the same person anymore. Kate doesn't care about anybody except herself. All she cares about are her looks, her hair, her body, her money, and her so-called good grades. She thinks she's the queen and the boss of everyone who isn't on her level. Kate's stomach twisted as she watched the exchange, unease creeping in despite her outward confidence. Something about the way Eliza smiled at the girl, a smile that didn't reach her glowing brown-reddish eyes, sent a shiver down Kate's spine. Moments later, Eliza stood, her movements deliberate, and began walking toward the door. Kate quickly stepped back, her irritation masking her growing sense of dread. Eliza walked out of the classroom and down the hall toward her locker. She moved with quiet grace, as though she was entirely unbothered by the world around her. She opened her locker and began gathering her things when Kate and her two best friends appeared beside her. Eliza, Kate said, her voice sharp. Eliza turned slowly, her glowing green eyes meeting Kate's. In a quiet voice, she said, yes? Inside, though, Eliza was thrilled. She didn't have to go looking for them. They had come to her. Kate blinked, momentarily stunned by how beautiful Eliza's voice sounded. She shook off the thought, her jealousy flaring. In her mind, she thought, I have to get rid of her voice too. Kate smirked. Listen here now. She barked, her voice loud and commanding. Come with us. We want to hang out, and we have a surprise for you. Inwardly, she was cackling, imagining the plan she had to get rid of Eliza once and for all. Eliza stared at them for a moment, then turned and walked past Kate as though she didn't exist. She kept walking down the hallway, silent and unbothered. Kate's temper snapped. She grabbed Eliza's wrist and yanked her back. What the hell do you think you're doing? She screamed. Eliza glanced at her, her expression unreadable. Say something, do something, Kate shouted. Her frustration boiled over. Oh, I know. You know you're a joke, a little nobody, a piece of crap. Wait, Kate, one of her friends, Lily, interjected. We need to do this at the old school building. Let's get rid of her there. Kate's other friend, Ray, hissed, Are you an idiot, Lily? Why would you say that right in front of her? She's not supposed to know what we're doing. Eliza heard everything but didn't react. She had already decided to wait for the other students' requests to reveal the truth about Kate. But now, Eliza had seen enough. She had all she needed from this incident. She stood in silence, watching them, her expression calm as always. Kate sneered at Eliza, oblivious to the storm brewing beneath her unruffled exterior. Let's go, Kate said finally, her grip tightening on Eliza's wrist as they dragged her toward the inevitable. The group trudged toward the old, crumbling school building. Kate gripped Eliza's wrist tightly, her nails digging into the skin as she practically dragged her down the overgrown path leading to the building's backside. The wind rustled through the trees, whispering eerie secrets of what lay ahead. Lily followed a few steps behind, her nervous energy evident in the way she fidgeted with her sleeves. She occasionally glanced over her shoulder at Ray, who walked silently at the back, her phone held at an angle, recording everything. Ray's expression was blank, her focus entirely on capturing every moment. Keep up, Lily, Kate snapped, tugging Eliza forward with a force that almost made her stumble. When they reached the back of the building, Kate finally released Eliza, shoving her roughly to the ground. The broken glass scattered across the dirt crunched beneath Eliza's weight as she fell. A sharp shard sliced through her arm and hands, and fresh blood began to trickle, stark against her pale skin. Eliza didn't flinch, her face remaining calm, almost bored. Kate loomed over her, sneering. That's not enough. Not nearly enough, she hissed, her eyes gleaming with malice. She turned to Lily, her lips curling into a cruel smile. Lily, your turn. Let's see what you've got. Oh, me? Really? Yes, yes. Lily exclaimed, practically bouncing with excitement. She stepped forward eagerly, standing over Eliza like a predator about to pounce. This is going to be fun. Kate crossed her arms, nodding approvingly. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Lily raised her leg and kicked Eliza hard in the side. The force made Eliza's body shift slightly, but she remained eerily quiet. Lily kicked again, this time aiming for her legs. Does that hurt, huh? You like that? Talk, you piece of crap. Lily taunted, her voice rising in pitch with each word. Eliza tilted her head, her green eyes glinting in the dim light. Her lips curled into a faint smile as a low, soft laugh escaped her. The sound was almost imperceptible, but it sent a chill through the air. Lily hesitated, her foot hovering in the air. What the hell is so funny? She demanded. Eliza met Lily's gaze, her voice barely above a whisper. Do your worst. Her words were calm, deliberate, and devoid of fear. That only seemed to infuriate Lily further, but Kate's smug expression faltered ever so slightly. Ray continued recording, her phone shaking slightly as the tension in the group mounted. Kate turned to Ray, her face twisted with a wicked grin. You're recording this, right? Ray nodded, holding up her phone. Yeah, I've been recording since we left. This is more my style, documenting messed up stuff. Just like last time, when we came here to mess with that other girl. You know, the one with the short brown hair who always wore that pink headband. Oh, you mean this cute pink headband? Kate smirked, pulling the headband out of her pocket and holding it up like a trophy. It looks way better on me. I really knocked that girl's head so hard, she screamed like a banshee. Lily chuckled, her laughter sharp and cruel. Oh yeah, I remember her now. Her voice was so annoying. She tilted her head, eyeing Eliza. But this one's voice. It's too pretty. She doesn't deserve to keep it. Her voice comes last, Kate ordered, a sinister edge in her tone. Fine, Lily muttered, heading to her bag. She rummaged through it, muttering to herself as she searched for something to use. Meanwhile, Kate turned her full attention to Eliza. Without warning, she began slapping her back and forth, the sound of skin meeting skin echoing through the empty building. Spittle flew from Kate's mouth as she leaned in and spat on Eliza, her cruelty escalating. Eliza's expression remained blank, her eyes eerily calm as she absorbed the blows. From across the room, Lily suddenly exclaimed, I found it. Kate whirled around, her interest piqued. What is it? Show me. I'll use it first. Lily held up a small candle, grinning. We can melt the wax and flick it on her. Then we can cut her hair. And maybe her arms and legs, too. Perfect, Kate sneered. Ray moved closer, angling her phone for a better view of the unfolding torment. The camera's red light blinked steadily, capturing every twisted second. But before anyone could move, a loud, disembodied voice echoed through the room, its tone cold and final. The girl's desire is granted. All movement stopped as the air grew thick and suffocating. The dim light flickered, and a chilling breeze swept through the room. Eliza's head tilted up slowly, her lips curling into a smile, one that was anything but human. Her school uniform darkened, the fabric transforming into something old and tattered, as if it had been rotting for decades. Her auburn hair grew darker and longer, cascading down her back like a river of shadows. When she opened her eyes, they blazed an unnatural red, glowing with malevolence. The three girls froze in terror, unable to look away from the transformation. Eliza's voice, now laced with an unearthly echo, rang out as she spoke. "It's your turn now." She turned first to Lily, her smile widening unnaturally. "You wanted to hurt me? Let's see how you like it." Lily stumbled back, her bag dropping to the ground. "No, wait, I didn't mean it, please," she begged, her voice trembling. Eliza raised a hand, and shadows swirled around Lily, pulling her into the darkness. Her screams pierced the air, growing fainter until they disappeared entirely. Next was Ray, who dropped her phone, her recording forgotten. "I didn't do anything wrong," she cried, backing away. "I was just watching." "You can't do this to me." Eliza tilted her head, her eyes narrowing. "Oh, but you did. Watching, recording, and doing nothing to stop it? You're just as guilty." The shadows moved faster this time, wrapping around Ray like chains. She let out a strangled cry before vanishing into the abyss. Finally, Eliza turned to Kate, who was rooted to the spot, her bravado crumbling. Kate's voice wavered. "Where are they? What did you do to them?" Eliza stepped closer, her presence overwhelming. The room seemed to dissolve around them, leaving only an infinite void of swirling blackness. Kate looked around, panic setting in. "Where the hell are we? What's going on? What is this place?" Eliza's voice dropped to a near whisper, her tone calm but filled with menace. "This is the Void, a place where people like you go. A place of no return." Kate's breathing quickened, her eyes darting wildly as she tried to comprehend her surroundings. "You have an evil heart," Eliza continued, her glowing red eyes locking onto Kate's, "and someone in the school has sentenced you to this fate. Here, you'll feel the pain you've caused others. Over and over and over again." Kate screamed, her voice echoing endlessly in the empty darkness. Eliza's smile remained as she watched her tormentor disappear, swallowed whole by the void. The building stood silent once more, the echoes of the night's events fading into nothingness. Eliza's form returned to its usual self, her red eyes dimming to green. She turned and walked away, leaving no trace of the three girls who had dared to cross her.